in a collection of the great Rabbi Nachman. Rabbi Nachman was the founder of the Breslov Hasidic movement who lived in the late 1700s to early 1800s. In a collection of his teachings called Likutei Etzot, he talks about anger. He says that you must break the force of your anger with love. If you feel yourself becoming angry, make sure you do nothing unkind because of your anger. You must make a special effort to be kind to the very person you are angry with. Sweeten your anger, he taught, with kindness. When you do this, he says, you will taste the delight of the world to come, and you will see how everything in the world is part of the movements to this ultimate goal. Much earlier, we have Psalm 37, which says to us, give up anger, abandon fury, do not be vexed, because it could only do you harm. Well, like many of you, tonight, since October 7th, and for other reasons, I'm angry. And I'm not going to be kind to the person, to the people I'm angry with. Nope. Because they're evil. I know this anger that I carry around with, in me, it's not healthy. I know it does harm. I can feel it. I know it's not good. But I'm really angry. While I'm overjoyed that we got to welcome home Arbel and Agam and Gadi and the Thai workers, with all due respect to them, I need to say their names, but I'm sure I'm going to mispronounce their names, but they deserve to have their names said, the workers who were released. Wachara and Banawat and Satain and Suwanakem and Nadapang and Pangsak and Surasak. We welcome all of them back to Israel earlier this week, and we got to welcome home Nama and Karina and Daniela and Liri last Shabbat. I'm overjoyed that we're going to get to welcome back Keith. Keith, whose friends were here. You remember the hostages, the survivors from Kfar Aza. Keith is from Kfar Aza. We're going to welcome Ofer back, God willing, tomorrow. But I'm outraged that Yarden Bibas, hear me out for a second, because this might sound confusing, but I'm outraged that he's being released before and without his wife, Shiri, and his children, Ariel and Kfir, the babies. I'm outraged that Keith and Ophir are being released before this mother and her babies. Now, don't get me wrong. I want them all home. But it wasn't part of the plan. It wasn't part of the plan to release women and children after the men, unless, of course, God forbid, they're dead. And just the thought of this being a reality, it fills me with so many emotions. To call it rage is a huge understatement. Hamas won't tell us the fate of Shiri and her children. We know that there are dead people who are being held hostage, which is sick in and of itself. And we know at least one, offhand, perhaps two, we know are women. But we've heard nothing about Shiri and the babies. Might Hamas, maybe they don't know? Might Israel know, and they're not going to tell us, maybe waiting for Yarden to come home first tomorrow, because Israel will be enraged by horrific news about this family? Might Shiri and Ariel and Kfir be alive and this is some type of sick mind game? Are they being used as a precious bargaining chip? There are no answers, at least no answers that I think any of us are ready to hear, and this fills me with fury. So to Psalm 37 that says, give up anger, abandon fury, don't be vexed, it can only do you harm. I know these strong emotions inside of me are harmful. They hurt, they're all consuming. I don't sleep well. But giving them up, I'm sorry, but that's not happening. And this idea of being kind to those we're angry at, as Reb Nachman suggests, yeah, in certain circumstances, I get it. But being kind to the likes of Hamas, it's not happening. In a 2020 article called Holy Anger and Righteous Lust by Rabbi Baruch Halevi, a conservative rabbi, he writes, the dark emotions, all of them, they have their place within our lives. We just have to learn how to pay attention to them, how to be honest about them, how to feel about them, and use them. Like the Jewish wisdom master, the Rabbi Pinchas Shapiro of Koretz, who lived in the 1700s, taught, I conquer my anger, I conquered it long ago, and I placed it in my pocket. This way I don't allow it to consume me. But if I need it, that is the anger, I take it out. If I need it. He goes on. Feel your anger when it's happening. Don't push it away to deal with another day. Study your anger as it emerges. It holds critical keys to your unique life curriculum. Learn to conquer your anger and put it in your pocket. Then, when something arises that justifies it coming out, you can feel it. You can use it. And then you can put it away for another day. Well, for me, today is that other day. And I and so many of you were angry. And despite lots of teachings like Psalm 37, Judaism does give us permission to feel anger, even intense anger. And while encouraging us to put it in our pocket, Judaism doesn't insist upon letting go of anger when it is justified. My favorite, I quote him all the time, Abraham Joshua Heschel. In his book, The Prophets, written in the 20th century, he said, whoever said it is the God of anger versus the God of love is wrong. The God of love and the God of anger are the same. The God that loves humanity, wants us to love the right thing, is the same God who is going to be angry when we don't do these right things. This is a mirror for ourselves, Heschel teaches. Our anger is a reflection of our love. Our anger is a reflection of our love. If we want to see humanity thrive, Heschel says, then we are naturally going to be angry at those who defy the idea that we're all created in the image of the divine, that we are deserving of innate dignity. We're going to be angry when society does not live up to its promise to serve all people. And that anger is not bad. That anger, he explains, is an expression of our love. It's not its opposite. It is its counterpart. We are angry because we love and we want to see the world be better and human beings be better. I read Heschel's words over and over and over again this week because in this anger, his words comforted me. They remind me that while I'm angry, I'm not a hateful person. I don't even consider myself an angry person, but I'm angry because too many wicked people, Hamas and others, are turning the world completely upside down. And too many people are allowing these wicked people and groups to turn the world upside down. And too many people are silent. Too many people are sleeping soundly while the plight of two beautiful babies and their beautiful mother are unknown, or worse. And I'm angry because I expect more from the world. I'm angry because I have the audacity to say I demand more from this world. Musar, it's a Jewish ethics, it's called Musar. And in Musar, there are teachings that say that our emotions, those things that we feel, whatever they might be, strong negative emotions, positive emotions, even anger, are not seen as intrinsically good or bad. It's when we have too much or too little anger, rage, fury. That's when problems arise, Musar teaches us. That we get out of balance. That's what happens. And we allow the negative emotions to rule our lives completely. That's when there's a problem. Many of us know the creation story captured in our beautiful stained glass. On 5 out of the 6 days, the first 5, when God finishes creating, God says, it was good. On that 6th day, when God created humanity, God stepped back and for the first time says, not it's good, but it's very good. And the Midrash, written some 20 to 2,000 plus years ago or around that, teaches us that Rabbi Nachman said in Rabbi Samuel's name, it was good, said on those first 5 days, refers to all of our good emotions, our good desire. It was very good, the rabbis teach, refers to all of those heavy emotions that we have, the negative emotions inside of us. Those are the things that God is referring to as very good. Because anger and rage and fury, unchecked, it can push us to do harm, like Psalm 37 says. So they have the potential to do evil, but the rabbis in the Talmud ask, can these dark emotions we feel really be very good? And the rabbis say, there's some truth to this. Think about it, they say. Without any of these dark emotions, people wouldn't build, strive to be better, seek to change, lift ourselves higher, above it all. We wouldn't work so hard to do things like tikkun olam, to make the world a better place, the larger world better. The heavy emotions, they have the ability to push us to bring about much needed transformation. And we've been carrying a lot of these heavy, dark emotions for so long. I don't think I speak for myself when I say I'm exhausted. And we don't want to feel these emotions anymore. But every single day they are there. Every day there is a reason to feel them. And I don't want to feel any of them anymore. But I know that if I don't, if I wake up tomorrow and the insanity is still going on and I don't feel it, one of two things might have happened. Either the Mashiach, the Jewish Messiah, has arrived and there's no more evil in this world. Or two, I've become numb and I no longer care about all that is shattered in this world. I'd love for a Moshiach to come. And I'm not a pessimist, but I'm not thinking that that's happening anytime soon. I don't want to be numb. I care. You care. And we want more people to care. For those of us feeling rage and fury and anger over our hostages, the spectacle that has been part of their release, the conditions in which they were held, the lies being told about them, the plight of the soul still held captive, including Shiri and her babies. I see our anger as righteous anger, as holy rage. And I say we shouldn't suppress it. We have to feel it. We have to act on it responsibly, not recklessly. We are, as a people, coming together with our anger to do our part to turn this unjust, callous, anti-Semitic world right side up. And this gives me hope. And I need that hope because it tempers the anger just a bit. It balances me. And as we discussed last week, we all need this hope. So tonight, well, I want to tell you that if you're feeling that anger, it's justified. I also want to help you find some balance. Tomorrow, God willing, Keith Siegel will return to his family and friends. He was stolen from Kfar Aza, and he is loved by so many people, including our beautiful friends, Lear and her boyfriend Aviv, who spent Rosh Hashanah with us. Lear and Aviv lived through the horrors of October 7th. Lear on Kfar Aza, and they have been symbols of hope and strength for so many of us since the moment we met Lear on Kfar Aza. And tomorrow, they get to, God willing, welcome their friend Keith home, just as they have welcomed home their friends Emily and Daron. And now, for some real hope, I ask that you turn your attention to the screen. Earlier today, Lear and Aviv called us. They got engaged. Let's use our hope to push us forward. And let's sing from afar for Lear and Aviv. We're going to sing a Mazal Tov to them to lift our spirits and celebrate them. Shabbat Shalom. Simen Tov, Mazal Tov, Mazal Tov, Simen Tov, Mazal Tov, Mazal Tov, Simen Tov, Mazal Tov, Mazal Tov, Simen Tov, Yehi Lanu, Yehi Lanu, Yehi Lanu, U'lechol Yisrael, Yehi Lanu, Yehi Lanu, U'lechol Yisrael. Simen Tov, Mazal Tov, Mazal Tov, Simen Tov, Simen Tov, Mazal Tov, Mazal Tov, Simen Tov, Simen Tov, Mazal Tov, Mazal Tov, Simen Tov, Yehi Lanu. I think only Judaism would allow us to go from a discussion of rage to singing Mazal Tov, right? It's what we got to do because we need to find it all and hold on to it tight. You'll hear more about the wedding. When we spoke to Lear and Aviv this morning, we said we're going to be very American and assume that we're being invited. And they laughed and said yes.